and they're going to see that Bitcoin is the ultimate power and the ultimate wealth. And that is going to drive this global scramble by the superpowers to own as much Bitcoin as possible.
I think the tough thing with Bitcoin right now is most of the movement is still just on trading and speculation right now. And there's actually less merchants who accept Bitcoin last year than did in 2017.
To stay competitive in the 21st century, we need to build our Bitcoin position. We need to start hoarding Bitcoin. We need to start mining Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a store of value. And so if you want to protect yourself against this inflation, you need to put your investable assets into something that's going to protect your wealth in an inflationary environment. So you've got two choices, gold or Bitcoin. And clearly Bitcoin is winning that race. Bitcoin is winning the race. Capital is flowing into Bitcoin, not gold. Gold is acting atrociously, and for a lot of different reasons. Mm-hmm. And investors are deciding to go into Bitcoin as a store of value, and that's the only answer to escape this money printing insanity. Of course, it can happen in the U.S., but I think the way to look at this again is to get out of a U.S. centric point of view and to look more globally and understand how game theory works. So when you see what's happening in El Salvador, when that spread to Latin America, and you see it happening to Africa. Okay, those are emerging economies. Those are peripheral economies. At some point, it's going to kick in with a G20 country. And then suddenly that G20 country is going to be doing quite well because they're on a Bitcoin standard. And that will attract other competitors and other countries to come to say, you know what, we got to get in the game here. We can't. Let me put it to you this way. The idea of banning Bitcoin is fallacious. It's not, the risk is not, or the outcome is not that countries are going to ban Bitcoin like the US. The outcome is that countries like the US are going to start aggressively hoarding and mining Bitcoin, as what I call the hash war. So in other words, the US at some point, they'll figure out that, you know what, we have 8,000 tons of gold and we have a lot of treasury bills, but we don't really have any Bitcoin. And to stay competitive in the 21st century, we need to build our Bitcoin position. We need to start hoarding Bitcoin. We need to start mining Bitcoin. And then America will be on the path to recovery. And until that moment, it's going to be on the path of collapse. And that's what we can look forward to. That's where this is all going. Global Bitcoin war. It'll be a mad scramble by countries to try to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible in the same way that they would want to accumulate land or oil or gold, right? Countries like to accumulate large quantities of things that give them power and wealth. And they're going to see that Bitcoin is the ultimate power and the ultimate wealth. And that is going to drive this global scramble by the superpowers to own as much Bitcoin as possible. Mm-hmm. That increases the hash rate, it increases the security, it increases the price. That's how you get to $1 million of Bitcoin, $2 million of Bitcoin. Well, you know, I always say that there is no top for Bitcoin because there is no bottom for fiat money. You know, if you're going to, you know what I mean? If you're going to price Bitcoin in fiat money, the price is infinity because all fiat money goes to zero. If you price it in ounces of gold, you know, that would be a different way to price it. I think a more valid way to price it. I'm not sure exactly what the exchange rate is, ounces of gold to Bitcoin, you know, 40, you know, and then whatever that is, multiply times 100, and that's where we're going.
Wow. Okay.
Right. Well, altcoins, there's two major issues with altcoins, and the reason they're all going to go to zero. Well, you know, I always say that there is no top for Bitcoin because there is no bottom for fiat money. You know, if you're going to, you know what I mean? If you're going to price Bitcoin in fiat money, the price is infinity. Absolutely scarce, synthetic, digital commodity. That's what Bitcoin is. And it took 20 years of looking by computer scientists to find it. And then in 2009, they discovered it. They found it after so much time and effort. And everything, so there was no expectation of cash flow. It was simply an exercise by computer scientists. Are we going to be there when this perfect, absolutely scarce synthetic digital commodity is discovered? and they succeeded in right. Well, altcoins, there's two major issues with altcoins, and the reason they're all going to go to zero. I'll attack the second one first. The let me do it in order. I'll do the first one first. So with Bitcoin, you had the discovery, so therefore it's a security. And the SEC is right to shut down every altcoin there is because they're all unregistered security sales. I was a stockbroker for many years. I know the Securities Act of 33 and 34. I know as a former fiduciary and money manager and stockbroker, I can tell you that the SEC can shut down every single altcoin there is because they're all basically unregistered security sales. Something like Ether with a 70% pre-mine is clearly an unregistered security sale. Plus, it's totally centralized. They're all centralized, either absolutely centralized or relatively centralized to Bitcoin. There's a single point of failure. They're easy to take down. And I think as the friction between the governments and Bitcoin in countries that don't want to adopt a Bitcoin standard, let's say the U.S. doesn't want to adopt a Bitcoin standard, and they take a hostile position toward Bitcoin, they're gonna kill all the altcoins because they're easy to kill because they're centralized. You can go kill Ether tomorrow. The servers just, it's not distributed through thousands of nodes all over the world. It's all concentrated in a few servers. Some of them are on Amazon Web Services. You just call Amazon and say, hey, shut the Ether down, and it's gone. We just had a hack this week of a DeFi hack, $600 million, right? It's all garbage. And so the market's going to weed them all out. Anything that's not Bitcoin is centralized garbage, and it's all going to be weeded out. And all those folks, however, are going to come to Bitcoin, and it's going to increase kind of the presence of Bitcoin, if you will. So there's $500 billion or $750 billion in capital tied up in these garbage altcoins and DeFi and all that nonsense. That'll migrate over to Bitcoin, and it'll strengthen the hand of Bitcoin. So we're going to see that. We're going to see that migration happen. So you put it all together and you end up with Bitcoin becoming much more powerful, altcoins disappearing, and governments on the back foot, scrambling, not knowing what to do, as it should be. Proof of stake is fiat money. It's exactly fiat money. It just recreates the exact problem of fiat money. Fiat money is proof of stake. You have a lot of fiat money, you have power to go change laws. That's proof of stake. It already happened. It's called the US dollar. Recreating fiat money with digital money doesn't solve anything. It just creates more of a problem. Proof of stake is garbage. It doesn't work in theory. It doesn't work in practice. No, Ethereum is centralized garbage. The transactions are reversible, as they have been many times in the past. It's got a huge pre-mine that's dropped onto the market, which is messing up price discovery. It's got huge issues in terms of auditing. Nobody knows exactly how many Ethereum there are. Nobody in the world knows what the count is. It's a complete nebulous number, and the supply keeps expanding extemporaneously depending on the central committee, the open market committee of Ethereum, that decides without any understanding by the market what's going on.
Even better store of value. You don't agree with that?
No, Ethereum is centralized garbage. The transactions are reversible, as they have been many times in the past. It's got a huge pre-mine that's dropped onto the market, which is messing up price discovery. It's got huge issues in terms of, it's not easy to understand why certain things are trading the way that they are, because you have dislocations and price disparities in markets all the time. And so you can't look at the price and say, really, that's the arbiter of whether or not Ether is doing well or not doing well, because you have to look at the network, how sustainable it is, how robust it is. It's under $1 million, right? It's all garbage. And so the market's going to weed them all out. Anything that's not Bitcoin is centralized garbage, and it's all going to be weeded out. And all those folks, however, are going to come to Bitcoin, and it's going to increase kind of the presence of Bitcoin, if you will. So the project is constantly revising its mission statement. They revised the mission statement 4 or 5 times. So they do a lot of insider trading, and a lot of things are going on there, market manipulation.
Yeah.
And but it's not. It doesn't compete with Bitcoin. It's utter trash. It's kind of like the MySpace of crypto. I don't think it's going to be here in another year or two. Or it doesn't matter. There's nothing to do with it. It's like it's total garbage.